people hate us. And I don't know why.
I am the first emperor of the whole of China!
So you're the man that rules the world.
I am not going to be a mouthpiece for language that I detest.
Hi, I'm Opie.
Welcome, one and all. I'm KC.
And I am DC.
And we are two goddamn gentlemen, bringing to you this and every week a celebration of all things. If you can't beat them, say the N-word a lot.
That's what I do.
It's worked for last week's gentleman. DC, head over to twogoddamngentlemen.com to vote on the gentleman, as well as find a link to our Twitter, YouTube, Patreon. That gains you access into our live Discord during all free and bonus episodes. New Ladies of the Night coming this Friday. DC, if you would please read back the minutes to last week's meeting.
I'd love to, Casey. Somebody who was not, who never held back saying the N-word. My guy, Shane Dawson, not a gentleman somehow.
Shocking.
-8. -8. Pretty well disliked in the voting. And Lenny Dykstra, man, who said if you can't beat him, definitely work harder and don't do any steroids because that's bad. Totally a gentleman. +3 for his efforts.
Right. Good job. So. Good job, everybody. It's a
give him a
week.
loan. Give him a loan. He'll pay it back.
He'll pay it back with someone else's credit card, but it will be paid by someone. DC, What's next?
Let's do the top 3, bottom 3. We had movement positively across all 3 of the top, but they remain the same. Trump, Crowder, and Vox to the tune of +172, +99, and +91, respectively. I'm gaining on you with my 2 gentlemen. They're like neck and neck, but you're like doubling us up.
Trump is way out front.
Overlord. Yeah. Well, KC, never count your chickens too early if you're Donald Trump, you know? You got to learn the lesson. We have 1 week. Crowder's got 1 week to make up 80 votes, basically. And we'll see if he can do that. I doubt it. Bottom 3. Let's start with the one on the outside, your boy.
Oh, Nissan, -132.
Yeah.
Jake Paul, -184. And go ahead. Dude,
Joe Biden dropped another 50 votes. It's not going to be enough, guys. He's down 150 to Tommy Tudor. You guys got to get out, get there early, get there often. Vote for Joe Biden. It may take you 20 minutes, but I think we can get him. Or it would take 2 of you 10 minutes each, and, do the math. You know the thing. We got to get Joe Biden below Tommy Tudor by next week. Otherwise, he falls off. Jake Paul now becomes the sitting interim miscreant, right? Leader on the course.
It would be a giant upset.
Tommy Tudor.
It would be a giant upset. Tommy's been at the bottom for so long.
Yeah.
That if he were to lose it that fast, that'd be incredible. But there's 1 week to find.
If anyone can do it, it would be Joe Biden. He really is not popular amongst either side. The ones who don't want to say fuck Joe Biden are just saying let's go Brandon. That's funny for everybody. It's funny for everybody. KC, we need to retire a couple gentlemen. Let's do those first and then the gentleman updates, right? I think that's probably the best way to do it.
Sounds good.
All right. I'll go with my guy from week 9, Andrei Chikatilo, the Russian psychopath who murdered kids primarily. Didn't discriminate, boys, girls, whoever was weaker than him. And then he would kind of just mess with them with his floppy dick until he caused them pain. And then that's what finally got him off. And he would just drip ejaculate from his nasty, weird, floppy wiener. It's a horrible story, and he's still very dead.
His Nosferatu dick.
Yeah, still very, very dead. And he ended up at a -21. He can't believe it. He's in shock.
My update, a lot more going on with my update from that. Actually, no, it's H.H. Holmes, also dead, and also not a gentleman, but only to the tune of a -3.
He was in the positive at like +6 and didn't move for like weeks. They're like, H8, that, I don't know. It's not the murderer, right? He wouldn't be at +6. I'm not going to vote for that guy. I don't know who he is, clearly.
They got confused. They didn't.
There are 2 pictures of this guy. I tried to find a picture where he was like kind of sad, and this is the best one of the 2.
Yeah, there's a few of those. I found one of my guys, it might have been him, it might have been somebody else, where I saw a picture of him up close, and it was the only one I could find. And then I saw another one with a group of 4 people, and he was one of the 4. And I was like,
Butch
cool,
Cassidy
different.
or something like that?
I was like, different picture. But then it was the same picture, just zoomed out. I was like, shit.
Damn it. You've had a few of those, Casey.
It makes for an easy edit. It makes for an easy edit afterward. It's one fucking long image. It's like, did we sneeze during it? Nothing to go look at. Don't worry about it.
Don't even worry about it. So that's it for the retirees. Again, it's all about next week. Big episode 10, the presidential candidates. Guys, vote, vote, vote. You got to get out there and vote. If you're dead, send in 2 votes.
That's fine.
Why not?
We accept that.
We accept that, especially Casey.
Your votes are good here.
Yeah. I do have a gentleman update, if you don't mind. I'll sneak mine in before you get your couple in and then get rolling. But, Casey, right before we got onto the podcast, I was just fucking around online. I was like, let me check Kiwi Farm, see if I can get like a heads up on a lady for next week, So I want to bring a real fucking turd. And I saw that there was an update on our buddy Jonathan Yaniv. He just can't stay out of the spotlight on social media, and he posted a picture, Casey, that I think is pretty sad. Go ahead and post the picture if you would for me. Oh, you got a dog. That's too bad. That dog's been abused.
The dog already looks traumatized. It's already like...
He is, chat. You're right. He is, Mike B. He is fucking that dog. Hand check. Hand check. 6 months old, Casey. And why 5 hearts after that? Maybe I'm just being OCD or retarded, but 6 months old and then you put 5 hearts. It's like playing do 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 do, and then you just walk away. And you don't play the last note. You just wait for people to lose their minds.
Yaniv's name online now is Jessica Simpson.
Yeah, that's already a person. What if I went like trans, right? Just like went all out like Jonathan, like had my wiener falling off, like all of it, right? Mm-hmm. Like I did a bad super glue job of my wiener back on because that's, I don't know. And I just started calling myself like Mariah
Taylor
Carey.
Swift.
I'm like,
yes.
Oh yeah, hi, how you doing? Yeah, exactly, same thing. Except I'm old, so I went Mariah Carey, you went Taylor Swift. So once again,
that's exactly right. Just the generational divide between us. It's huge.
Yeah, so, I just start calling myself, I don't know, fucking Aretha Franklin or something like that. I don't know. It's so weird, Jessica Simpson.
That's disgusting. Poor dog.
Yeah.
Poor dog.
Seriously.
I'm getting a dog. I'm gonna Photoshop me and that dog into this picture.
That dog is like staring into the people looking at this in the future, like, hey. Seriously.
It's seeing what it thinks is another person and a different dog and is like, help. And then realized probably after the photo was taken, like, that was selfie mode on the camera. I'm still alone here. No.
That's right. He's like, thank God it wasn't on video mode. Because we know what happens when it is. All right, Casey, that's the update for Jonathan. Still terrible as always.
Yeah, still disgusting. All right, yeah. So I have a couple of gentlemen updates, both actually gentlemen of your past nominations.
Hey, there you go. Well, yours are all dead. We covered that.
That's 100% accurate. Hurtful, but accurate. All right, so DC, first up, here is your first gentlemanly update.
Okay, I'm going to tell you guys why it is crucial, important to have sex on the first date. Hear me out. So...
Ricky Berwick is the greatest.
Dude, You know what's kind of funny and sad? I knew it was going to be him because of the camera angle this they started with. All of his shit is on the floor. So I'm like, yeah, Ricky Berwick. I didn't want to ruin it.
Oh, that's hysterical. My second update is another gentleman of yours.
Okay.
And we were just talking about him. This is a long clip, DC, and you can kind of help the audio listeners along with what's happening. I'll tell you now that it is the climate summit that was going on this past week for all of the world's leaders to fix what we all know is a global crisis.
They told China to shut it down.
Yeah, they tried. I think.
Oh, I bet they didn't.
I bet they
didn't say that.
I bet they took care of it right away.
How dare you?
DC, President Biden is there fighting for our interests and making it look like me in high school math class.
On behalf of everyone, disabled and non-disabled all around the world, I call on you to commit to concrete action to stop the destruction of
Oh no! Joe, no! Oh! Wake up, Joe. Keep the head up at least. Keep the head up. You're good. Oh, yep, you're good. Did anybody see? No. Oh. He didn't even look around to see if anybody saw him do that. President of the United States, ladies and gentlemen.
Still out.
That's a good solid 10 seconds. Still holding form, though. This man is a robot.
That's right. Now, about this moment is where the other people with him go, oh, somebody go talk to Joe.
Yeah, someone go talk to Joe before he has a moment where in his sleep he's fallen off of like a steep ledge or something, and you're like, ah!
And this is my favorite part. Me in class again. Just like, oh, yeah, good job. Oh. I'm exhausted. Yeah, just clap again.
Hey, clap, yeah. Good Lord. I love him.
He's the best. He
Just
is
the best.
The best. DC. Nomination time.
Yeah, enough of these dead guys. Let's go.
Barely dead this time. DC, here we go. A man born in 1935. So, just so close to modern times. Born Joseph Lee Brenner III. But that's not the name he goes by forever. He's better known as Joseph Kallinger. Now, I'd never heard of Joseph Kallinger before this week, but I heard him referenced in a show I was listening to, just in a passing sentence. Joseph Kallinger. And then I learned a little bit more and went, well, that might be a gentleman right there. So, allow me to enlighten. DC, Joseph, again born Brenner III, is placed at 2 years old, right around his second birthday, in a foster home. Because his dad abandoned his mom, and his mom abandons him.
Yeah.
Don't need you anymore.
Like they do.
So he goes not quite 24 months, not quite another full 2 years, and he gets adopted. Yeah, everybody celebrates. Foster parents abuse him.
Like they do.
Like they do. Pretty nasty shit, actually. Punishments included kneeling on jagged rocks. Being locked. Yeah, like, here's a jagged rock and kneel on that. That doesn't sound good.
I would have never thought of that. It's a great idea.
It's a great punishment. Being locked inside a closet, which is a little weak after leading with the jagged rocks, I will admit.
Yeah.
Consuming excrement is a good bounce back. Commit self-injury, which is very vague. Burned with irons, beaten with hammers, floggings, being whipped with belts, and cat o' nine tails, which I had to look up is like the 4 whipped whip at the end.
With shit like tied into it. Like there's glass and shit tied into it, and then so you can rip it out.
No one tell Adrian Peterson about that. No one tell him.
Yeah.
And he was also
grab a switch,
starved.
son, and glass it up.
Glass it up. So his childhood was not great. Summer of 1944, a bunch of neighborhood kids take knives out, attack him, sexually assault him, and that's unrelated to his then new habit of always jerking off with a knife in his hand, which Weird. But
Hey man, 1944 was a rough year for a lot of people. So,
That's true. It's true. For some reason, he rebelled against his foster parents and his teachers. Not sure why.
He probably walked in on him jerking off with the knife in his hand.
Get out! This is easy to threaten him out. He dreamed of becoming a playwright, and he even went so far as to direct a play for his 9th grade class, A Christmas Carol. So, like, he was a gentleman on his way. He had his goals. He knew what he wanted to do.
Yep.
But things didn't quite go to plan, DC. At 15, he starts having sex, and he gets into this relationship with a girl named Hilda. And his foster parents tell him, "You cannot see that girl. You're dating us." But he ignores those orders. I think half of that was true.
You're dating us.
So he again rebels.
So that worked.
Yeah, he marries the girl at 17, producing 10 children, according to one of the articles that I read, before she abandons their home for another man. Or maybe because...
Shit.
Yeah, or maybe because of domestic
kids?
violence. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
10
my
kids
Lord.
and maybe some domestic violence thrown in. She leaves. I wasn't there. I don't know.
10 kids alone is domestic violence.
That's it's global violence. It's a crime against humanity. A year later, Joseph is hospitalized with a suspected brain lesion. Now, they didn't find a brain lesion in any tests, although some I would consider faulty tests found psychopathological nervous disorder, which I don't think would be the case. That would make him a little bit jumpy and crazy, which isn't true. So he became a professional cobbler and eventually would earn himself the nickname the Shoemaker, which every cobbler has a nickname, so clearly that's normal. He lived in a 20-foot pit in the cellar of his house. He wore wedges in his shoes to adjust what he called the list in his body, and it was to harmonize the setting of his body with his brain. It's a good thing.
He was a manlet.
A what?
A manlet. Like he was short. So he put wedges in his shoes to make him taller, and
That might have been what it
blamed
was.
it on the alignment,
His
but he's
alignment.
really a manlet.
He could be both, DC. He remarried in 1958 after he was released from a mental hospital, because like I said, they found some things. They locked him up for a minute just to check.
And the
make sure
liberals were
everything
like,
was fine.
don't lock people up.
Yeah, let him out, which was the right idea.
Let them
So
out. Let them live with their moms and let them rape their moms. It'll be great.
We'll hear from him again. He had
we will.
He had 5 children with his second wife because he was a prolific dickslinger, as it said
Yes.
online. But not the best dad, surprisingly.
What?
He was extremely abusive towards the wife and kids, often inflicting the same punishments he had dealt with. I certainly hope he didn't lock them in the closet. That was just the worst. Throughout
Right.
the next decade, he spent some time in and out of these mental institutions because things were not going great. He had attempted suicide. He had committed arson. He actually had set his own house on fire 3 times.
Jesus.
Which is a lot. And then
yeah. It's more than I
19
have.
It's not many more than I have, but it's more. 1972, he is charged with child abuse after 3 of his children go to the police. And the police were told that one of his oldest daughters ran away, so he branded her. They didn't specify with what, but branded her. He was arrested for child abuse and found incompetent to stand trial.
Hey, attaboy.
So they gave him an IQ test in jail, and what do you think he scored?
Considering you can cheat the shit out of that test, probably extremely low. But because that wouldn't make sense on the show, I'd say 142.
Nah, 82. Way closer.
I did cheat. Damn it. Gave him the benefit.
So he gets an 82 and is diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia. The state psychiatrists say, all right, yeah, he can go back and live with his family. He's just got to be supervised.
Jeez.
Good calls. Good calls all around, I think,
82.
everybody. Yeah,
That's rough. That's like
that's not good.
Terrell Suggs. It's like what Terrell Suggs got.
No, dude, they have good courses at Balso Hard University, I've heard. The The children later recanted their allegations against him because the gentleman is always acquitted. Now, this is, again, unrelated, but 2 years later, one of his sons, Joseph Jr., drowns in an abandoned building, which is a strange thing to happen. But at this point,
it was abandoned. There's no lifeguard. You'd expect a kid to die there.
He decides, you know what I got to do? I lost one of my sons. I got to take one of my other sons under my wing. So he goes to Michael, one of his kids, and in the beginning of 1974, him and his 13-year-old kid, they do what every father-son duo needs to do. They go on a crime spree, DC.
Oh, dude. I'll be honest with you. That's my dream, is that my dad comes to me one day, and he's like broken bad, like Walter White, and he's like, hey, I need you to... I'm like, yes, Dad, anything. whatever you say, let's go. That's like my number one dream. It would be great.
Well, you can be
my
that
dad doesn't
for your
do
kids.
shit. My dad doesn't do shit.
That's what you can do in 10 years when you're his age.
Yeah.
So the scheme that they were running was that they would gain entrance into houses by pretending to be salesmen. Mm-hmm. And over a 6-week period, they robbed, assaulted, raped, and tortured 4 families, including murdering 3 people. Pretty terrible stuff. In one of the Philadelphia crime scenes, however, they leave a bloodstained shirt behind, which seems like just a giant mistake. It's traced back because it's got
his name written on the fucking tag.
It's got laundry marks in the tag. Yes, DC. It's exactly how they fucking traced it. So bad. Also, with his 15 kids, well, 14 kids if you don't count the drowned one. 14 kids. It's a lot of laundry and t-shirts and stuff that he's probably used to. Everybody having their own like shit sewed into shirt. I had a friend who had 7 kids in his family. Well, 2 friends with 7 kids in their family because I'm Mormon. But they would have, one of the friends had just Sharpie written on the tag on the inside. But the other friend had it like sewn, like little like Roman numerals, like sewn into the fucking shirt. I'm like, okay. That's bizarre. Yeah, it's bizarre behavior.
Quite.
So the laundry mark fucks him. And then the police start looking around. Eyewitnesses say, yeah, they've been in this area. We've seen them before. So they start looking into Kallinger. And they go, all right, well, this guy's got a history of domestic violence.
He's been in and out of the psych ward a few times. The
psych ward, yeah. He's got the arsons that he's carried out. And then,
but he says he didn't do it.
Wait, what did you say? Did you say his kid drowned in an abandoned building? Did anybody solve that? Let's look into that too. So we'll look into both. So they look into the Joe Jr. situation. Again, abandoned building. Turns out that just prior, unrelated I'm sure, Joe had taken out a large insurance policy on his son Joe.
Just the one kid?
Just the one kid. He didn't take out an insurance policy on all his kids. Just the one that died.
Oh, man, that's a big mistake. See, I'm thinking, like, way ahead, right? I'm thinking of that shit, but, like, in reverse. Like, I'm not thinking of killing one of my family. I'm thinking they'll kill me for the insurance money. So I don't put any of the money in my wife's name. I put her as 0.5%, and then I spread the rest of the 99.5 amongst my children. Because they're weak. I can take them out. They're not going to kill me. Yet, once the oldest gets old enough to kill me, then his, dependency status drops. It goes, till eventually it's only the one. Yeah, until eventually my wife will be the weakest, and the kids will then get nothing, and she'll get all the money. Yeah, it's
good for her.
It's a dance. It's a dance.
It's what she's waiting for. So, DC, that'll do it for him. The smoking gun, as it were, the kid with the insurance policy. So. Both Joe and his other son, Michael, arrested on kidnapping and rape charges. They eventually get charged with 3 counts of murder. He pleads insanity. He says, God told me to do it. Now, you see...
Maybe he did.
He was constantly in touch with both God and Satan, as both of them wanted Joe to bring about Armageddon and annihilate all of mankind, which is, I will give you, a big ask, but Joseph was up to it.
Yeah, but I mean, imagine the one guy that is asked to be the one that brings about Armageddon. No one's going to fucking believe him. So maybe it did happen.
It could have been him.
That's the problem with it.
Could have been him.
Oh, well, maybe. Maybe they did.
1974 wasn't a good year. By the middle of the year, he was hallucinating constantly, holding animated conversations and discussions with his buddy Charlie, who was a disembodied figment of his imagination.
Oh, good. And this is, where is he now? Remind me.
Prison.
At home?
He's in prison.
Oh, good. Okay.
God also spoke to him and told him to kill young people and sever their penises. That had happened early in his life, and he actually did that. One of the victims was a Puerto Rican boy. Became a Puerto Rican they, them on the way out.
Maybe he just circumcised them. God's totally all about that.
He gets his mental abilities tested after the arrest. He's found sane. He stands trial. He is sentenced to life in prison. His son is sent to like a reforming house. And at 21, he does the only thing he could do. Moves away, changes his name. No one's ever interviewed him since.
Oh, good.
Nobody knows where the fuck that guy went.
He's just telling crazy stories at a bar somewhere that no one believes.
Yeah, exactly. So, while he's in prison, Joe made several attempts at his own life. He tried to set himself on fire at one point. He set the prison cell on fire. He fighting off the guards as they were trying to open the door and get him out. It turns out what he was trying to do was kill himself while also frying an egg on his head. He had lighter fluid, sprayed it all over this shit, fought the guards, and was cracking an egg to put it on his head so the egg would fry in the fire around
That
him.
was the lawyer's idea. Hey, if you're going to do this,
Bring an egg
try to fry an egg on your head, because we got an appeal coming up, and I think this insanity thing could use a little boost.
I think we could get there. Another time, he stripped the plastic cover from his mattress, tried to suffocate himself with it. Once again, no luck. The asshole guard saved him. So, May of 78, he gets moved.
Be a man and rip your throat out. If you really want to,
He wasn't doing that. He was actually, oddly enough, and I'll always remember this because it's one of the only times I ever laughed at Opie. Talking about people committing suicide and like whining and doing like this whiny voice about them cutting themselves, like, I can cut myself. It's like the funniest Opie shit I've ever heard in my life.
There you go. There you go.
So good job by Opie.
I laugh at Opie every week at the
every
intro
time.
and the outro. I laugh at him every week.
Every time. So they send him to the Pennsylvania Fairview State Hospital for the criminally insane, which is a very secure facility. He can't commit suicide there. And it works. Everything works. While he's there, he only slashed the throat of one other inmate, and the guy was only injured, so he didn't kill him.
Cool. But that guy didn't kill himself later, so that's good.
He had still those regular conversations with Charlie. He decided that when he died, he would be replacing God, which, again, might have happened. He showed remorse for the murders by this point, and eventually, by 96, he had a seizure. He died. He spent the last 11 years of his life on suicide watch, and if he had been a wrestler, I could have skipped a lot of this. DC Joseph Kallinger. Goddamn gentleman.
Oh, shit. That's really funny. Good work.
Thank you, sir.
This is somebody who did not make the cut, I'm guessing. I'm already intrigued. There's like 1,000 balloons behind people in white jumpsuits. The news is interviewing him. It looks like, or he is the news.
He's being interviewed.
Oh, good.
DC.
Is he going to try to fly being lifted by these balloons, I hope?
Here we have Adelier Antonio DiCarli, known in Brazil as Padre Bolero.
Yes, it's Brazil. Get fucked, Brazil. Let's go. All right.
So Padre Bolero, or Balloon Priest in Portuguese.
That's my wrestling name. If I ever do wrestling, it's Balloon Priest. And I'm just going to come out and my thing will just be like this, when the clown is blowing up the balloon before he like makes it into something, that's just going to come out between my robe. It's just going to go, it's just going to blow up. Balloon
You're doing the hand motion with it. All right.
And I tie it into a sword and I try to fight and then I get my ass kicked. It's terrific. Everyone loves
Pops
it.
right away. So here we have Padre Bolero, DC. Now, what he's doing here is attempting to break the 19-hour flight world record for a cluster balloon flight. This is what a cluster balloon flight looks like. This is him. Right there, DC. It's pretty crazy.
Is he just holding onto it with his legs up?
He's sitting in a chair. He's sitting in a chair at the bottom.
Ah, that's cheating. I think you have to hold them like you're delivering the balloons. Like that has to be a requirement. Like you were delivering them and it was just too many. And you have to like hold on.
Like Mary
Otherwise
Poppins.
It doesn't count. That's so cheating. You could just scientifically determine the weight of the balloon and the air, density and shit. You could just cheat. Oh, whatever. 19 hours is a long time though. I hope birds fucked with him.
So that was the world record that he was going after. He made his first attempt in January of 2008. He used 600 balloons, and he successfully completed only a 4-hour flight. He only traveled 16 miles, but he did get up to a height of 17,000 feet.
Good. Wait, they have to have a parachute on them. Never mind. There's no risk of death.
So then it was time for the real attempt. April 20, 2008. He takes off in his metal flotation chair, attached to now 1,000 balloons. DeCarli reaches an altitude of 19,000 feet.
Okay.
And then...
Is that like above breathing height? Does he have to have like an apparatus or anything?
No. That's like 24,000, 25,000 feet.
Wow.
Maybe higher. I think. Yeah. I think it might even be higher than that. However tall Everest is, it's like that last 10%.
I guess that's true. There's 15,000 mountain peaks in Colorado. Never mind.
Yeah, so I think you're
feel
okay.
Silly.
So he's up at that 20,000 foot range and loses contact with authorities. And then eventually off the coast, they find balloons. Now, he was equipped with a parachute, a helmet, a waterproof pair of coveralls, a GPS navigation device, a mobile phone, a satellite phone, the flotation device chair I mentioned, an aluminum thermal flight suit, and at least 5 days of food and drinking water. His training for the stunt included jungle survival and mountain climbing courses. It did not, however, include instructions on how to use the GPS navigation device. So he had lost contact with the military police during the night. He called from his cell phone, the best of his tools available, to request help determining his coordinates and ask them to contact authorities. And that was the last they heard. They searched, the Navy searched, they never found him in their search. So they call it off. They call off the search party, and then in July of 2008, they find half of a human body in the water. DNA confirms it was him, so he didn't break the record. Moving on.
Dude, that was the best story I've heard all day. Oh, that's exactly what a Brazil attempt at a record would go like. The guy ended up crashing in the ocean. He tried to call us from his cell phone, but he was way too far out.
He was really far.
He had a quarter bar of service.
Calls from his cell phone. The satellite phone.
And now he's just like a beacon to everything in the ocean that's like, hey, da-da-da-da-da. It's like a fucking Vegas buffet with all those balloon colors.
There's all these sharks in the water that look like a dog at the halftime show chasing the Frisbee 70 yards. Sharks under the water like, where's he going to land? Where's he going to land? He's floating your way. He's floating your way.
They jump out and grab him like fucking Batman in the 60s. Oh, fuck.
All right, DC. Next up, I love these videos. It is important to have independent, trusted, non-biased news sources right? That's important.
Yeah.
And we here in America are lucky to have that. And Deadspin had this video, and I thought it was great.
Fox San Antonio's Jessica Headley.
And I'm Ryan Wolf.
Our greatest responsibility is to serve our Treasure Valley communities.
The
El Paso, Las Cruces communities.
So
Eastern
good.
Iowa communities.
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But
We are concerned about trouble trending irresponsible, one-sided news stories plaguing our country.
Plaguing our country.
Fox,
The sharing
NBC,
of biased and false
CBS,
news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and
False news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets
Without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some
Do you know somebody in here?
We're up to 30 different news feeds at once right now. 36.
exactly what people think, and this is extremely dangerous to our
And they're
democracy.
changing.
this is extremely
Screens
dangerous to
within,
our
so-
democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is
Imagine being
extremely
one of these
dangerous
people
to
in
our
this video.
democracy.
Like, oh,
This
don't-
is
I know
extremely
I said this.
dangerous to our
Don't
democracy.
Be me, don't be
This
me.
is extremely
Oh,
dangerous to
there
our
it is.
democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely
Her
dangerous to our
side mouth is
democracy.
really weird.
This is
I know.
extremely
She's such a
dangerous
pissed
to
me
our
off.
democracy.
Really pissed me
This is
off.
extremely dangerous to our
If a woman
democracy.
talks out of the side of her mouth,
This is
she
extremely
is a
dangerous to our
lesbian
democracy.
exclusively.
This is extremely dangerous to our
There he
democracy.
is. Found him.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
I couldn't agree more with any of their sentiments. Everything they're doing is extremely dangerous to our democracy. It's almost like there's a concerted effort to make everybody in America think the same thing. That's not good. In my opinion, in my humble opinion, that's not a good
Is
thing.
that what you think is happening? Oh, that's not what I got.
Oh, I don't know. It sounded
DC.
like they were, or the moon and all the shit that all the crazy girls talk about aligned at once, and all of their message was like, I think I need to say this right now.
All those words just came to them. It's magical the way that happens.
Did
last-
anybody ever? Because I've
yeah.
seen that video. I saw that video a couple weeks back. Does anybody know if there is like a media, like the CDC, but for media instead of?
Well, it's the
infectious
the
disease?
Associated Press is usually where they pull everything from. Everything goes
but
across
read
the
it like
AP.
that. Like you guys
Oh
all
no,
have
that
to read
that
this.
seems
Like
that
where
seems
would that
like it
come
would
from?
That seems like it would be something that gets sent to like station runners from a
From
higher
the
up.
federal,
Yeah,
like the
from like the national
State
office.
Department.
Maybe.
Like, this is the Secretary of State. You need to read this on the news. There's no way it could be that perfectly executed.
Well, it's definitely all
otherwise.
written. It was definitely all written in one room at one time, and then
Yes.
told to disperse. And my guess is that someone high up in each news company just sends it down and out to their producers underneath.
I still fucking hate it.
That doesn't make it any better. I'm just trying to figure out how it happens.
Fuck.
DC, lastly, we'll bounce back here. A gentleman always teaches his kids the right lessons.
All of it? Take everything that was in there? Huh?
I just take a little bit because the trick-or-treaters need some.
Oh my god. Dude, all of it?
Got all of it. Almost all
She
of
asked
it.
a good question.
That's enough, Daddy. We need some for the trick-or-treaters.
Okay, they've already been here.
They've already been. Oh my god.
They've already been here. You're the last one.
Oh my
It's all
god.
for you. That's
That
a good
guy
lesson
had
to teach
that
her.
guy had something to get to. His Sunday night football.
And he wanted some goddamn Reese's while he watched it.
Jesus Christ. Dude, I took the kids out trick-or-treating, and so we weren't going to be home, so I left a bowl and glued a thing to the door that said, please take one, expecting to come home and have nothing left and some teenager shit like smeared all over my door, right? Because I basically put a kick me sign on my house. And when I got home,
It's hilarious.
when I got home, the bowl was like half full of candy. Like, people just came and, like, took one or whatever, or we just didn't get that many people. And the candle stayed lit in the jack-o'-lantern. No one fucked with it. Like, no one took it and smashed it. And it restored my faith in white communities. So
did that need to be restored? You were worried?
I'm just kidding. There's tons of black people in my neighborhood. For now.
Yeah. Yeah. DC. I was fighting back a bunch of jokes there that weren't ready. DC, you were up. Who didn't make the cut?
Casey, the first guy that didn't make the cut for me, I think was, let me jump over.
I'm seeing a sideline shot before everybody else can see it.
Yeah, I think this is how all sports broadcasting and conversations with women should be handled in general. Casey, next clip.
Is to go and speak to Ralph Hasenhuttl, because after 3 wins in 4, particularly after the win against Brighton, we're expecting he's going to be in a good mood. How significant was that last win?
It was a huge win. I mean, relegation game in hand and obviously in good form.
I don't know if that's just like a British thing. It seemed like your F1 commentators kind of did that, like where they would walk towards the camera on the, wherever they're at. Mm-hmm. But that was great. She's like, okay, you're going to ask us a question and we're just going to answer it and walk away from you. It's great.
That's a perfect setup.
What do they need to hear the answer for? They're not going to know or remember what you just said. Casey,
how important do you think this last game was? Not important at all, cunt. We're going to go this way.
Fuck you, bitch. So I think that, Casey, this is next video is probably the most relatable reaction that I've ever seen to a road rage situation. It's in Asia, and one of the guys, presumably the guy who got, I don't know if it was an act. You tell me what you think about it. Go ahead and play the next clip.
Argument, police are there. Fake kick, fake punches. Just obnoxious.
That cop was laughing.
That guy's awesome.
Was laughing. Oh shit! I can't believe he did like a freaking Karate Kid kick in his face.
He did.
He wasn't planning on hitting him.
He did like a Liu Kang kick.
Yeah. KC, it's time for everybody's favorite. Uh-oh.
Stove on fire.
We got a grease fire. Grab a bowl.
Bowl of what, though?
Oh, no.
A bowl of what? A bowl of...
It's probably...
It's got to be... No!
Wow! That didn't go well. That was, 3.6 degree burns. That one.
Yep, I had
or nitrogen or gasoline. I think he threw gasoline on that.
One of my best friends in college did that. Had a grease fire, threw water on it, and was in the hospital with hilarious 2nd-degree burns for like a week. Like, fucking idiot. What are you doing?
Did you even go to Scouts once? It's like the first thing they teach you.
It's so easy.
Is that an electrical fire? Blanket that shit out. All right, Casey. Last but certainly not least, we're staying across the seas, but this time in Russia, where I think this is definitely a legit sports match. What do you think?
Но в конечном итоге перешел в категорию свыше 100, потому что и был такой, что не вязал.
Really swinging a lot yet, okay.
Показывал 95.
Okay. He fell down before the punch got there. Like, that's the worst.
It's like the first minute of the first round. You know he had a huge bet on that. Huge.
Well, that is normal. Whenever I've seen
yeah.
people get knocked out, usually what they do is curl one leg up behind their ass and then just bring the other one up too and fall straight forward before the punch arrives. That is how people get knocked out.
Totally.
That's how they always look.
And they cushion their fall by bracing for it and falling on like the perfect angle right on your side and your shoulders.
Perfect. That looked terrible.
That did look terrible.
No, he did land safely. You're right about that.
Perfect to not get hurt.
Yeah, he
not
landed
perfect
nicely.
to act like you were hurt.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Casey. Speaking of getting hurt, my next gentleman lived through a lot of emotional hurt and dished out some physical hurt, which is always a recipe for greatness. Next image, Casey. Dennis Rodman.
Oh, excellent. That's good.
Fully dressed in his clown makeup in this picture. He looks like Gold Dust, like black emo Gold Dust.
Yeah, he does.
You know?
Yeah. I wish Gold Dust had any depth as a character so we could make more jokes about that, but nope, he just has the paint.
Just the paint. That's it. The paint and the creepiness. Dennis the Worm Rodman, Casey, was born in Trenton, New Jersey. Sounds awful, and it is, but he moved somewhere even shittier, if you can believe that, when he was young, after his dad, did what some dads will do, and abandoned him. He and his two sisters and his mother grew up in, relocated to Oak Cliff, Texas. Are you familiar with Oak Cliff, Texas?
Definitely not.
It's still one of the top 10 most dangerous cities in Dallas, which is saying a lot.
It's like a suburb of Dallas or neighborhood?
Yeah. And back when he grew up there in the 60s and 70s, it was a lot worse than it is now, and it's still top 10. I think it came in at number 8 or 9 most dangerous city in Dallas.
There's a lot of that. A lot of that down there in the South, DC. I learned that when I moved to Georgia this past year.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about, the demographics of those 10 cities because it's not going to be available on this podcast. It is available, just not on this podcast. Those are like bonus episode types of facts. So maybe we'll talk about that on another episode. But he was born to Shirley and Philander Rodman Jr. Philander is his father's name. Junior. Senior, couldn't you give that one a miss? Your fucking parents named you Philander. You needed to pass that one on. It was so important that you had a junior. You had to name your goddamn son Philander. Funny enough, Dennis claims to be the oldest of 47 children. His dad only says, no, that's not. There's only 25 to 26 siblings on my side. So, maybe his mom can account for the other 21.
You would have to be pumping out a kid every 10 months from the time you can pump out kids to the time you can no longer pump out kids.
Yes. So I don't think his mom was to blame for anyone except for the 3. And Dennis, he stretches the truth a little bit sometimes.
Although if Philanderer was just running around and there's a lot of moms out there, then that's you never know.
Oh, it was definitely a lot. I think Dennis Rodman probably has an inflated number because you got to think tons of people were saying, "Oh yeah, I'm your half brother," just because.
Yeah,
it's probably true. He wouldn't know. So I think it's probably somewhere between 25 to 26 and 47.
Either that, he was just really dumb, and he was like, "Yeah, people are always coming up to me like, what's up, brother?" It's like, 48.
God damn it! That's another one. My fucking dad. His mom gave him the nickname the Worm, actually, for how his dick, when he was born, he had this weird discoloration ring around near the head, so it looked like an earthworm.
That's
real? Not true at all. That's not true at all. He looked like he squirmed around when he was playing pinball, but that's stupid. That's a stupid story.
Just go with the dick story if you're Dennis.
Go with the dick story for sure. He had two younger sisters, like we talked about, but they were the basketball stars. In high school, he had no athletic talent at all. He was 5'6" as a freshman, and that's, nowadays, and even when he started high school back in 80, I think. No, it had to be earlier than that, 78, something like that.
Kallinger was already talking to Charlie for quite a while by that point. This is a long time ago.
Even back then, to have a chance in the pros, I mean, you really got to be playing for the high school team at least as a freshman, and most of those kids were on their way to 6'5" by then. So he said self-admittedly he could not hit a layup, and so he was listed on the team to start the year. I don't think it was like a huge high school or something like that, but he was then either benched or cut from the team because he was just so unathletic. His sisters went on to play college ball right after high school. One of his sisters was a 2-time national champion at that level. And he said he always felt like he was like a laughing stock when he was with his sisters because they were all awesome at basketball and he sucked. So after high school, he went right to work as
the exact opposite of Cheryl Miller, who's way better than her brother and is just pissed because she gets no recognition.
Exactly. It's like he only shot threes because he was over me. He couldn't drive on me, so he had to learn how to shoot a three so he could do anything against me. I know, I'd be pissed too. So after high school, he works immediately as a janitor at the Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport. Fucking janitor. He has an 8-inch growth spurt after, a year. So now he's 22 years old. He's finally like 6'7", I think, because I think he was like 5'11" at the end of high school. So he has like this 8-inch fucking growth spurt, and at 22, he decides, hey, I got 4 years of eligibility left. Time to go to school. So he goes, of course, to State College. I mean, what's he gonna do? He just wants to dabble in basketball again now that he's got the height. So he goes to Cook County College, KC, all with C's. And he averaged 17.6 points and 13.3 rebounds in his only semester there because he flunked out of Cook County College.
Of course.
After a semester. So
turns out, DC, no matter how cheap the school, if you don't go to the class, it is possible to fail. Can confirm.
Right. Can confirm. So he transferred to Southeast Oklahoma State University. I know you probably haven't heard of that. I hadn't either. It was.
But I can get where it is.
Yeah, it was.
Figure that out.
It was literally just the Southeast, few dorms. They just got together and played basketball, and I think Dennis Rodman was invited. No, so he goes to Southeast Oklahoma State University, which is an NAIA school. It's like just
I went to an NAIA
co-ed
school.
There you go. Yeah. So it's co-ed sports. They do them, but whatever.
Co-ed.
I don't understand something, Casey. Like ITT Tech, right? They would market to the jobless and TV watching demographic during the middle of the day. The people did not have jobs at all. Where do you go to market to people for Southeastern Oklahoma State University, after they've dropped out of ITT Tech? I don't understand how do you reach that demographic? What are they doing with their time? Because I've never seen a commercial for these people.
Pornhub side banners.
Yeah, it pops up on the side banner
mobile
after
version.
You should have finished.
The mobile version of Pornhub.
Yeah, the mobile version. Click here, and it moves the video up at the last second when it loads, so that you click an ad by mistake instead of play. You're like,
Southeastern Oklahoma State
God
University.
Damn it! Oh, maybe I should go there. So he was a 3-time NAIA All-American. No shit. He averaged 25.7 and 25.7 points and 15.7 rebounds in all those years. He went 46 points and 32 rebounds in their semifinal game.
That's what the numbers, by the way, if he had played against the school I went to, which was NAIA Division II, not even NAIA Division I.
Oh, he would have scored 100 points.
I was going to say, exactly. He'd have scored 100 points and had 90 rebounds. Just
but their broadcast team would have been garbage compared to yours.
That's right. That's right.
So
look at that man with the weird penis. Another rebound.
Looks like a worm. Oh, I get it. So 46 points and 32 rebounds in a losing effort. Imagine how shitty the rest of his team is.
and how bad they felt after.
Yeah, especially years after when fucking Rodman was in the NBA. So he went to a pre-draft camp for NBA hopefuls, got MVP and the Detroit Pistons' attention, got drafted second round, third pick of the second round, like 27th overall, something like that. And I think who got taken right before him? John Sally. I think John Sally got taken right before him. If you know anything about
is that the guy from or Best Damn Sports Show from back in the day?
Big bald black guy that's way
I remember him.
Funnier than he was good at basketball. Just kidding. So he joins the Pistons right at the beginning of the Bad Boys, right? And kind of toes the company line. Like he doesn't really get too out of line. He'll jump into the scuffle and break shit up and do what he needs to do. But he wasn't crazy. He hadn't got any piercings or really any tattoos, didn't do anything with his hair, really just kind of followed whatever Chuck Daly told him to do until he went to San Antonio, started getting a little wild there, and then he got the reputation before he went to the Bulls for being kind of eccentric, we'll say, Casey. Mm-hmm. One story, while he was playing for Detroit, and this was kind of like the first sign of trouble that led to his leaving. Cops in Detroit found him in his truck with a loaded shotgun and one shoe off, so he could pull the trigger with your toe kind of thing. And there were rumors about teammates sleeping with his wife going around. So,
you hate that.
Who knows? Yeah, who knows how much of that played into it? But he'd have more run-ins with the cops. In 8 years living in L.A., the cops were called out to Dennis Rodman's house 70 times. 70 times. That's awesome.
It's impressive. That's an impressive number.
It's impressive. One of his neighbors, Robert Marsh, who is 44 years old at the time of this interview, remembers preparing for a party and hanging tiki torches when Rodman, who didn't know him, stopped his Suburban, which is lame that he drove a Suburban, but pulled out a case of beer, threw it in his yard, and said, "Have a cool party, bro." And Marsh said, quote, "I'm kind of going to miss him." I only called the cops on him one time.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wonder how many times that guy called.
Yeah. In the NBA, he was known to have kind of a hot head. He headbutted a ref while playing for the Chicago Bulls. It was funny, the video clip of it. You can see Phil Jackson laughing on the bench. He's like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? Yeah, Dennis, what the fuck's wrong with you? A lawyer later said of the headbutting incident, quote, "In Rodman's case, you could say that the referee assumed the risk. If he didn't want to be butted in the head, he shouldn't have ejected Rodman. I'm sure that's what Rodman thought." Or otherwise known as the quit hitting yourself defense.
Yeah, exactly.
So stupid. Rodman was a master.
That guy should not become like a newspaper columnist covering rape trials.
Right?
Hey, listen.
We all know she assumed the risk. And so I'm going to say it.
When she wore that shirt, we knew.
Now, wear whatever shirt you want. When she put herself in the presence of a man,
yeah,
that was assuming a risk that things were going to happen because men are freaking stronger than you and we're stupid when we drink.
Again,
so
quoting
away.
Patrice O'Neal, it's like having a salmon work with bears.
Yeah. Oh, no, I hope the bear doesn't do what he's going to do.
That's right.
Oh, my God. So Dennis was a master at drawing the foul when there was no foul. KC, next video.
Have your heart in your throat at all times when they get tangled up. And see, Dennis initiates all that by getting his arms tangled up underneath the other player, and then makes it appear that in this case, Frank Brakowski is doing the holding.
Frank, he's like, oh, give him the Emmy. This is beautiful.
What the fuck is this guy doing? Oh, I got terrible. That foul, didn't I? Oh man,
he did, and this was especially funny. The announcers editorial on the end of this highlight. Casey, next video.
Once again, with the game not in the balance, a 22-point lead.
22-point lead, and he's doing that shit. He's just laughing in his face.
He's so happy with himself too. Rodman's great.
I'd be happy with myself too. Casey, let's see. The camera guy nut shot. This was famous.
Classic,
You've probably seen it. Everyone's probably seen it. But his statement afterwards, with the highlight video included, his statement afterwards is probably one of my favorite statements ever, and I hope to use it someday in my life.
I really wasn't trying to physically hurt anybody.
And the photographer is hurt.
It was just the heat of the moment, and the things that I did was more like, okay, great, I'm gonna do this, and hopefully that, things will be cool.
Yeah. All right, I'm just gonna kick this guy, and then maybe everything will work out right after.
That's like Joe Biden's strategy. We're just gonna do this thing. We're gonna pull him out of Afghanistan, and hopefully things work out. I didn't have any intentions to hurt anybody or have the Taliban take back over. I didn't have those intentions. I just thought, let's do this thing, and I hope it all works out. Cool? Everybody good? I love that guy. Rodman, not Joe Biden. On a hot mic, Casey, Rodman once, the source said Rodman had quite a lot to drink, like myself, and had been making shout-outs on the mic, spelled M-I-K-E. Have you ever seen that?
Somebody spelled like microphone M-I-K-E?
Yeah.
I have seen that.
Everyone knows it's M-I-C. Why would they put M-I... Anyway, he'd been making shout-outs to Mike. That would make sense, but on the mic, it's spelled different. He headed up to his room with 6 girls. Then the next thing you could hear through the speakers downstairs was Rodman describing in full sexual detail what he wanted to do to them. Organizers pulled the plug before it got any dirtier. Ah, squares.
Damn it. Be an amazing recording to have.
Cordless microphone. He just took it with him. He's like, yeah, baby.
Now I want you to take that wine bottle.
Yeah, right?
Pour a glass.
So... End of the long story short, Dennis Rodman knew how to party, Casey. Next image. This was Michelle Obama at her wedding. It's very beautiful. Oh, I'm just kidding. That's when Dennis Rodman married himself to promote his autobiography, Bad As I Want to Be. Just funny. I think he's still married to himself. I think that's his current nuptials.
He's a genius. There's no doubt about it. And beautiful.
More beautiful, maybe, some would argue. Next image, Casey, was another one of his wives, Carmen Electra.
Take it or leave it. Let's go to that last picture.
So, Carmen Electra's mom dies, and in a fit of hysteria, I guess, she and Dennis Rodman go to Las Vegas. They'd been dating, but it was her idea. They get married at 7 a.m., in Las Vegas, and 8 days later, Rodman says, I want this marriage annulled. He wants the marriage annulled.
Yeah, of course he does, because he's Dennis Rodman, and he could give a fuck. Like, he just realizes, he goes, wow, that took 7 days longer than I expected it to, but I need to stop this.
Yeah, I need to stop this. The sex was great, but she's starting not to care.
Yeah. So. This is going to be a
also,
big drag.
Her bank account was not anywhere near as big as I thought it would be.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on the wrong side of the alimony. I need to get out of this.
And he made the right decision. I think we can all agree on that.
I Don't know about that. Lock it down. She's so hot. Obviously, he joined the Bulls. We talked about that. Pulled the biggest robbery in the history of the NBA against my dude Karl Malone. It's painful, but roll the video, Casey.
Here he comes. There it is.
Oh, isn't that Diamond Dallas Page? Wait a minute.
It sure is. It's Karl Malone's partner, baby.
Watch out from behind.
Comes in, saves him. Boom! Diamond cutter from Karl Malone.
Disciple's in, though. The disciple is in.
Oh, disciple.
He wipes out DDP.
Fucking robbed.
Oh,
fucking! I can't watch that.
I've watched so much wrestling in my life. I have no idea what the fuck I just watched.
That was Bash at the Beach. WCW NWO Bash at the Beach.
Okay, gotcha.
It was Diamond Dallas Page and Karl Malone in a tag team against Hollywood Hulk Hogan and Dennis Rodman. And as you can see, Karl Malone was robbed. Also, they lost the finals because Rodman tackled Malone. But whatever. That's fine.
At least you're over it.
I am over it. KC. Next, we have Kim Jong-un. Great friend. Gentleman. We've already established. Well, he's not a gentleman right now. He kind of got voted down. But, whatever. He's good friends. Good friends with our boy Dennis. And Dennis sang him happy birthday. Mm-hmm. Dennis went on CNN and blew up in his defense. I don't know if you saw this. There's some other CNN fuck, Cuomo. They're everywhere. These
it's their brother. They're brothers. Yeah, they're brothers.
Oh, is that Chris?
Yeah, Andrew and Chris are brothers. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so Chris is the CNN guy.
Great. Yes, I'm going to say. God, I feel confident with that. I've looked so stupid before, but it's fine.
I think you're right. So he's interviewing him and takes his chance to cancel Dennis, as you would.
Are you going to take an opportunity, if you get it, to speak up for the family of Kenneth Bay and to say, let us know why this man is being held, that this is wrong, that he is sick? If you can help Dennis, will you take the opportunity?
Watch this.
Watch this is probably the most accurate way he could have started what he was about to say. Watch this. Because he goes on and just, I think he may have had a little bit to drink. He admitted to that after. But he goes on to say some eloquent things, Casey. Next video.
I got it. If you understand what Kenneth Bay did,
yeah.
Do you understand what he did?
What did he?
Uh-oh.
What'd he do?
He's going to make himself look like a jackass.
Uh-oh.
They don't. That's the point of the question. They don't know what he did. They won't say what he did. They just
they were just holding him. I understand. I was hoping Dennis was going to tell us.
Oh no, Dennis said, "You tell me.
Oh.
You tell me what he did in that country." The best part of all of this. Check out Casey. Next image, if you would, for me. The faces of these poor guys all around him.
Yeah.
Just realizing, oh no, Dennis is going to go off.
Uh-oh, don't talk about that. Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
We were here specifically saying we're not going to talk about politics, and then fucking Cuomo goes and asks the drunk guy who has a history. It says, watch this. I feel bad for them, Casey, but, they knew what they were getting into.
Hey, Dennis, now, the Jews went through a hard time in the 30s and 40s.
Was it deserved?
Watch this.
No, I got this. Casey, a gentleman never backs down when his bluff is called. Next video.
Listen. Let me do this. I would love to speak on this.
Go ahead.
You got 10 guys here. 10 guys here. They have left their families. Left their damn families to help this country as a sports venture. Got 10 guys, all these guys here. Do anyone understand that?
No.
Yeah, 10 guys. 10 guys, we got it.
That
That's
part
easy
we
math.
got, yeah. 10 guys, we understand, but...
Yeah, but why are you going to North Korea? No, we don't understand why you're doing that. because you can. I would too, but I wouldn't
Imagine
say
if-
I was going over there for like a venture, a sports venture.
Chris Cuomo goes, now did they just leave their families? Like, just for this?
Yeah.
No comment.
We know they left their families, but what we're asking you is... So Cuomo challenges Dennis, and it's hilarious to listen to the echo in the mic. It's real soft, but you can hear the echo, and you can tell exactly when Dennis's reaction is going to happen, and he reverts back to his old Hulkamania training. Next video.
Don't use these guys as a shield for you, Dennis.
Listen.
Ain't no shield. I got it. Let me do this. Really, I'm gonna tell you one thing. People around the world, I'm gonna do one thing. You guy behind the mic right now, we are the guys here doing one thing. We have to go back to America and take the abuse. Do you have to take the abuse? Well, we're gonna take it.
What are you going to do when the abuse runs wild on you, Chris Cuomo?
Casey, next image. I think it's the last one. Dennis, the Worm, Rodman, ladies and gentlemen.
Great job.
Oh, he's
Great job.
fantastic. He's so funny. All right. That does it, Casey, for
That was
episode 59.
DC, we will have a lady show this upcoming week. Either I'm enjoying the double Friday shows when we do the 2 weeks. So
Double Friday, yeah. I like having my Saturdays open. It's nice.
Yeah, I'm a fan, and the Thursday. So DC, tell everybody where to see all the things.
Go to www.twogoddamngentlemen.com. There you'll find the link to the Patreon, link to the YouTube. You'll find the voting booth. Vote down Joe Biden. Vote up Donald Trump. Let's get him as high as he can go before he enters retirement. And KC, tell your friends, guys. Tell your friends. Share the Discord link.
Yeah, that's right. Share the Discord link. Get more people in. We have a blast during the show with everybody in the chat. So get in there if you're not there already. DC, that's it for this one. We'll see you next week as the search for the ultimate gentleman continues.
That's it. Thank you all for coming today.
Leave y'all with that piece of knowledge. Let y'all contemplate.
There's no place in our cognitively complex society for 1 in 10 people.
I have no intention of keeping any promise that I make.
All right. All right.
Meeting adjourned.